Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. And I really do love Not One on the Voyage. Just, yeah. So here's my first poem. I just want to say beforehand some trigger warnings. There's some body image stuff in here, some talk about eating disorders. So please, if you feel uncomfortable, please feel free to take a breather, leave the space if you need to, come back, totally fine. Yeah, thank you. Even before our two tight slippers stumbled our slight attempts at grand jetés across the scuffed vinyl floor, before our overstretched limbs were forced to stay steady while we couldn't keep our self-esteems from shaking, we were already masters of the art of compromising our comfort for an audience's pleasure. We were 14. To us, this was second nature. Adapted to our teacher hovering from bar to bar, eagle eyes examining body after body, instinctively tucked and tightened our parts that teemed and demanded territory, grew familiar with strangers fashioning themselves as flesh fine-tuners, fingers shaping our torsos like talons into underbelly, hungry to carve out their expectations, trained ourselves that ballet would correct what biology had wrecked. We pushed to hatch from ugly ducklings and ascend into white swans, but instead, most emerged as vultures, adolescent scavengers searching for flaws they could sink their spite into. We all felt trapped in our newfound feminine frames, but I found that I had mutated into a different breed, a species invasive amongst this flock of delicate curves and swelling chests, felt like a pest to be eliminated, pariah to be eradicated, parasite to be exterminated, and who better to conduct the extinction? I danced a pas de deux with dysmorphia, and I was always offbeat, always a step behind where this disease demanded I be. The class kept everyone on their toes, but my confidence sank to the dirt, slithered through it day after day, the only threshold worthy of this flesh. It pinpointed the places I protruded in my leotard, but scolded me for the sections that weren't supposed to be slim. Promised me that if I binged, these hips would bloom like magnificent plumage, that if I starved, these shoulder blades would sprout into wings, but the stuffed meals toppling into toilet bowls purged everything except my demons. It sawed me, scissored me, sprawled me out in the studio mirrors, and for the dissection presented me with a scalpel. Taught me to shed this suffocating skin using sharp edges and sharper insults, each slit against forearm a public apology for my appearance, a pirouetted through my perception before blurring into a terrorizing twister, swallowing all my self-control, felt like prey, kill, casualty, clawing helplessly inside the belly of the beast as it constricted my dignity. There is no stage-worthy ending to this story. The fact that the monster is still coiled around my mind won't cause thunderous applause, but my physique fears it no longer. My body broke from its shell of self-loathing, not for the sake of a standing ovation, but because forces of nature cannot be tamed. Perhaps the way I rise is beastly compared to another person's flight, but I've dragged myself through the dust enough to deny myself a taste of the sky. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay. For my second poem, again, I just want to advise some trigger warnings. There will be some suicide mentioned and ideation. There will be some mental illness stuff, some talk about that, self-harm. Please, if you need to leave, go ahead, and I hope you enjoy. And thank you for allowing me to occupy the space on stage and for sharing it with me. I really do appreciate it, so thank you. To the kids who've become walking suicide notes, do not feel ashamed that this is the 3rd time you're getting your stomach pumped this month. You will feel like if you were a single moment in time, you'd be the throwing back of pills while drunk off lost hope. No. You are the split second you are brought back from the edge, ending your dance with death in favor of your heart pulsing to the steady rhythm that is life. Its movements telling you you're still meant to be here. To the girl who clouded the bathwater with her own blood. Do not feel ashamed when a crass classmate interrogates you about the bandages wrapped around your forearms. They are not a public display of self-loathing. They are a showcase of survival. The white of the dressings does not represent surrender, but triumph. You're still meant to be here. To the boy who reluctantly fills his Zoloft prescriptions every month. Do not feel ashamed that you've become the newest member of Adolescents on Antidepressants Anonymous. The West has become a Prozac nation. Its First Amendment is the freedom to shove pills down our throats so we gulp down our sorrow. The second is the right to bear arms against the ones we deem mentally unstable instead of hearing their cries. The third is to ask questions when it's too late. Though the world may want to swallow you whole, you're still meant to be here. Do not feel ashamed that depression's game of choice is Russian roulette. The barrel of a gun pressed against your temple like a tender kiss, the anticipation of a bullet, all you know. If the courage to tear the gun from depression's grasp does not arise today, do not feel ashamed. Recovery was not built in a day, but bravery is the foundation of your being, the core of your soul. And if there's anything I learned from staring down the barrel of a gun, it's that if we're still here, we're meant to stay. To that one person in every audience who is just diagnosed with depression, do not feel ashamed when tears leap from your skin like your chin is the Golden Gate Bridge and the floor is the San Francisco Bay. The impact of your new reality hits you like the surface of the waves. A jumper from the bridge survived the drop of 245 feet by plunging in foot first. Lived by putting his best foot forward. Thank you. Thank you.